In for repair today is a Game Boy Advance SP that will not read any games. Plug in Pokemon Emerald and turn it on, and as you can see, we don't get the logo, meaning that it's not reading this game, and this game is good, so that's good enough for me to tear this thing apart and see what's going on. And if we look close enough at the CPU, you can see that we have some damaged pins. There's only 3. It's very weirdly damaged, but they are broken and touching, which is why it's not working. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those pins so that way I can bridge to the IC package with some jumper wire. In order to do that, I have to scrape away some of the plastic to expose more of those pins that I can solder to. Once those pins are further exposed, I can now go ahead and tin them with solder. The pads were broken as well, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those and just solder to the traces. In order to do that, I'm going to use my scalpel and just scrape away that solder mask to reveal the copper underneath to give us a new pad to solder to. With the copper exposed, I can tin it with solder and now solder very fine wires from those pads to the exposed leads on the CPU. I'm using a very small tip for this and a very small solder joint on those exposed pads, or the exposed pins. It's very fine, detailed work, but it's not impossible, and for some reason it's a lot of fun. Okay, so I got those 3 wires jumped right there, and now we're going to see if it reads games. So I'm going to put the shell back on and slap the battery in. And I'm going to try to, my 3D printer is buzzing in the background, so I'm going to put in this game again, and let's see if we get the logo. And we do, look at that. And it plays. Alright, cool. So this Game Boy is repaired. This Game Boy is going to be used for modding, so I don't think the display being like water damaged is a big deal because they're probably going to upgrade it anyways. Same with the shell and probably the battery as well. So now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and really pack in some epoxy around those wires to make sure they don't break. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to add a little bit of epoxy on top of those wires for added strength. I don't think they need it, but better safe than sorry. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you to PCBWay for making this repair possible. Speaking of PCBWay, they are the sponsor of my channel, and I cannot thank them enough for their support. They offer a variety of services ranging from standard PCBs, rigid flex PCBs, 3D printing, CNC machining, sheet metal, and vacuum molding, and the list goes on. They even offer PCB assembly, so if you don't want to solder something, you send them a file with a request to build it themselves with the BOM that you supply, and they will solder it for you and deliver you an awesome quality PCB. Same goes for 3D printing. If you find something online that you want 3D printed, send them the file and they will send you a 3D printed object.